Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
SEC just gave Ripple the fair notice defense win, followed by a little laughy emoji. Now, why is he stating that? And I'll tell you what, he's right. At least in a sane world, this should better be right. Why is he saying that? Well, I'm going to share with you the specifics on that. It has to do with one very well-known SEC commissioner at this point, known as, lovingly, affectionately known as Crypto Mom. Also, I've got an update for you on the SEC vs. Ripple documentary that's going to be coming out soon. I haven't talked about this in a long time because there isn't frequently news on it, but it's being done by big names, very professionally. But, and this is like kind of bizarre to me, the way in which it's going to actually be distributed, quite strange, and I'll be very curious to hear what your take on this is. But before getting into all this, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Here's an article from Business Insider, which I came across thanks to attorney John Deaton. This article is titled, "The SEC says crypto platforms that hold customers' stashes must treat them as their own assets and liabilities." Now, regarding this article, here's a quote from John Deaton on Twitter. He wrote the following, and I'm going to have to censor this because this is a family-friendly channel, damn it. He wrote, "The SEC is making S-word up as it goes. The war continues. I predicted an SEC lawsuit against one or more exchanges by the end of the summer. I still believe it." And I'll tell you what, that seems very reasonable to me, especially as far as a potential lawsuit sooner than later, having to do with specifically charging one or more cryptocurrency exchanges. I will show you exactly why I think this is right, and he's hitting the nail on the head. There's a piece within this article I want to run through that'll, I think, pretty clearly make the case. But let me run through part of what's actually being discussed here. What are the changes that the SEC is trying to make, and what's the pushback? Well, here we go. Yeah, I only need to cover like certain parts of this to get the ideas across. So check this out. And this is from the Business Insider piece. Crypto trading platforms that look after digital holdings for customers should book these on their balance sheets as their own liabilities and assets, the Securities and Exchange Commission has said. So just pause to note, of course, they're talking about the cryptocurrencies that they're holding there. Piece continues. They should also disclose the nature and amount of crypto assets held for customers in their company accounts starting in June, the SEC said in guidance published on Thursday. Crypto trading companies that are publicly listed will have to make the change. Right now, they can record and disclose the digital assets they hold in custody on behalf of customers separately. So when they say publicly listed, presumably they're talking about firms that have had an IPO. If they mean something different, if anybody knows, let me know. But if they're saying publicly listed, I don't know how else I'm supposed to perceive that. So in the United States, who does that mean? Like, what firms are publicly traded? What exchanges? Coinbase? If there are others off the top of my head, I'm not sure. If they mean something differently completely by publicly listed, you tell me. Usually it's identified as publicly traded company, but if you're saying publicly listed, presumably they mean the company publicly listed on a stock exchange. But anyway, They also write, in future, any obligations to customers must be treated as liabilities, while any crypto assets held should be accounted for as an asset, the SEC indicated in its guidelines. This would likely enlarge affected companies' balance sheets. Now, here's what I'm curious about, and it's not been made clear by anybody that I've seen cover this story to this point. So I'll be curious in anybody else's take on this. But when they're talking about the way in which this is being accounted for, like literally in accounting, the documentation there, when you're talking about this being tracked as liabilities now, I'm wondering if there's specific legal implications to that, because understand right now, if Coinbase is hacked, for example, I'll just use them as an example, if they're actually hacked and the crypto that they're holding and you own a portion of that goes bye-bye because you got your holdings on there, my understanding at this point is there is not sufficient insurance coverage. There isn't any insurance coverage that would specifically cover something like that. So you just be out. So I'm wondering if it's treated as a liability, is there a legal implication, which would mean that you, as a customer of Coinbase, for example, in this hypothetical, if they would then owe you, even though they don't have the crypto anymore, and maybe it would never be retrieved. That's one thing that I'm majorly curious about, but I will say this, even if so, this isn't like the legacy financial system. In the legacy financial system, you can just unwind transactions if something nefarious happens. But when it comes to crypto, this is blockchain technology that's decentralized. If there's no central authority, you're not rolling back a damn thing. So even if the companies are liable, all it's going to do is destroy the company anyway. But I will tell you, the reputation, if you get hacked, if you're Coinbase, your reputation, if it's to like a crazy degree, your reputation could be mud by that point, to the point where nobody, like your company's destroyed anyway. It just depends on how severe it would be. Stuff like that has happened. There's historic precedent for that having happened in the past. Remember Mt. Gox, for example? Well, of course, crypto and exchanges have come a long way since then, but still, it's a consideration. So it's just interesting. So I'll see as people additionally, report in the days to come. If anything comes up on that, I'm curious about it, so I'll report in a future video if I learn more on that specific topic. Or if you know, feel free to drop a comment below. I don't pretend to know everything. I'm always learning as we go through this. But Stuart Alderati, who is Ripple's general counsel, which means he's Ripple's top in-house legal guy, he cited a piece from Hester Peirce, who is one of 5 SEC commissioners currently, and yesterday she responded to these new rules. Now the rules, technically it came from what's known as a staff accounting bulletin, which is what's on your screen right now. This is what she was responding to. That's what the article was about. And I don't want to read Hester's whole response. It'll make for a way too long video, and I can get the ideas across much more succinctly than would otherwise be the case if I actually went through all of this. But I do want to point out the following, and this goes back to why XRP Crypto, who I cited at the beginning of this video, is saying, hey, SEC effectively just gave Ripple the fair notice defense win. And so take a look at this from Hester Peirce. What did she write? It's this paragraph right here where my mouse is waving. The staff accounting bulletin does not acknowledge the Commission's own role in creating the legal and regulatory risks that justify this accounting treatment. The Commission has refused, despite many pleas over many years, to provide regulatory guidance about how our rules apply to crypto assets, so some of the responsibility for the lack of legal and regulatory clarity lies at our doorstep. Ba-bam. Right there. It's a firm acknowledgement. And she said stuff along these lines in the past, but that's why I was saying, in a world where justice is served, how is it not crystal clear? there are people at the highest levels of the SEC that are questioning this stuff, which is also another reason why I'm just saying I cannot wait. If we actually got our hands on the 63 Hinman emails, whew, I bet there's something exculpatory in there for Ripple. My best guess, though, just a for fun guess, is that we'll never get those Hinman emails, because even if the judge on her, who already demanded them to be handed over to Ripple, even if she stands by that, because that she has to rule again because SEC brought up additional concerns, assuming that is upheld, and she says, nope, SEC got to hand them over, I still don't think we ever see those emails. That's my for fun guess, because if they're fighting this hard to keep them from us, there's probably something really bad in there, and they don't want to let that out, which means settlement. Because and there's no other way, because if they don't hand them over, even if there's not settlement, the judge would have to throw this out. Like, you're not abiding by what we said, like, we can't even proceed with the case. That's what would ultimately happen. So I think this thing's going to be done one way, if this is what happens. We'll see, and don't know that for sure, but that's what I would suspect. Either way, in terms of Ripple's fair notice defense, how could it not get closer to a slam dunk than this? Like, it's incredible. Now, in terms of what John Deaton was saying about the SEC suing one or more cryptocurrency exchanges by the end of summer, well, take a look at the tail end of this article from Business Insider. I just need to read like the last one or two sentences here, which read as follows. Under the current U.S. legal framework, crypto exchanges don't have a regulator that directly oversees their activity. SEC Chair Gary Gensler has said, quote, if the trading platforms don't come into the regulated space, it'd be another year of the public being vulnerable, end quote. What does that tell you? Do you see, John Deaton is a smart guy. He knows what he's talking about, and I think this is one of the reasons that, that he's saying what he's saying. Gary Gensler's publicly made it very clear, look, if we don't act now, a whole nother year passing, can you imagine? And consumers aren't protected. Yeah, there's special brand of protection, if you want to call it that. Ugh, what a euphemism. It's not protection, okay? It's definitely not protection. But for that reason, it's perfectly plausible to think that, reasonable to think that there's going to be something coming down the pike sooner than later. Don't be surprised if we wake up one day and we see that Coinbase or other cryptocurrency exchanges in the United States are suddenly under fire. I don't want that to happen. I don't think it should happen. But don't be surprised, because pretty well made it clear that's what's potentially coming up next. Now on to the next story. This is from Variety.com. Look at this headline. Dubai-based M Content partners with PwC, that's PricewaterhouseCoopers, to launch documentary Ripple vs. SEC saga in the metaverse. Yes, in the metaverse, folks. That's the part when I cited at the intro of this video that I thought was a little peculiar. It's going to be launched in the metaverse. Check this out. Just bear with me here. This seems a little bit wacky to me, but hopefully they fully thought through this, and there's a second part to this that I'm pondering, which might make this perfectly reasonable. So let me share with you what we know at this point. Dubai-based cryptocurrency-based content platform M Content partnered with PricewaterhouseCoopers Middle East to launch its documentary Ripple vs. SEC Saga in a virtual theater in the metaverse. Produced by M Content, an Amsterdam-based Insight TV in tandem with Villain Studios, Ripple vs. SEC Saga, with a first look image ahead for those of you looking on your screen, that is the first look image, delves into the ongoing case being brought by the Securities and Exchange Commission since 2020 against the blockchain company Ripple Labs. And then they cite some specifics about the case. I'm going to blow past that paragraph, and then they write the following. Ripple vs. SEC will be launching M Content's Cineverse a virtual theater within the metaverse created in collaboration with PricewaterhouseCoopers Middle East's emerging technology teams. In order to watch Rippleverse SEC in the Cineverse, viewers need to use Oculus VR headsets or augmented reality glasses. The documentary is also available on mContent's tokenized streaming platform. So if they're relying heavily on headsets and Oculus and all this, that's peculiar. If it were just that, as long as, I'll say this, because look, I'm not convinced a bunch of people are going to watch it that way, but it could be okay as long as it is streaming on the platform in a regular capacity. It may be perfectly reasonable, but I'm just saying, if it were limited specifically just to VR headsets and augmented reality glasses, you're really severely, in 2022, you're really severely limiting your audience. So as long as it's streaming, it's fine, but it's just interesting that they're pushing it this way. So
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.